Hello, welcome to Skull RPG Podcast. My name's Dwight Skull.
My name's Jacob Skull.
And today we're going to teach you how to tell your story.
So today we're going to be talking about one-off sessions.
Sure, like one-off RPG.
Yes.
So one-off, in case you're not familiar, is, hey, you got this critical point in your story and you really need all your players there, and then you find out that so-and-so has to babysit his or her kids. Or so-and-so stuck at work for the next 28,000 hours of their lives.
Or sick.
Yeah, whatever it is. And you're like, man, so what game could you play that night that only lasts for one night that everybody could have fun at, and then you're not trying to keep your story rolling because you really need all your players there? One game is a game called 10 Candles. I think you can also get this one from Drive-Thru RPG. I think you can actually just go on their website and you can get all the rules for free. I kickstarted it. It's a little tiny book, and not that tiny, but it's a tiny book, and it is a fascinating little deal. You need 10 votive candles. Those are little tiny tea-light candles. I believe they actually have an app that he built online, so you're not just, burning down the planet's supply of wax to play his game. And 10 Candles is basically this concept that there's this little kind of fun ritual thing you all say. I don't exactly remember what it is right now. It's talking about the things that happen in the night and things of that nature. And so everybody will write down 5 different pieces of information. They'll write down like their goal in life. They'll write down one thing that they regret, and then they'll write down, I think, 3 other type of things. I can't remember exactly what they are right now, but everybody does that. And there's one game master that kind of controls everything. And so the concept is simply this. One night, the lights went out all across the world. And then the screaming started. And cue scene. And you're like, what's going on? That's the cool part. You as the game master get to decide as you're running through it, really, what is this thing that's happening? Like, what is it? Is it aliens? Is it vampires? Is it, who knows what it is, right? It could be anything.
Yep.
Is it another government agency? But regardless.
And it's also at your discretion on how much you tell your players. Because you could
Exactly.
have the total 80s horror movie where you never quite see the monster.
Which is cool about it, actually.
Which is what you kind of did with us when we ran through.
Yep. But the whole point of this is not called survival horror. Survival horror means that it's horrible, but you kind of have like a final girl or something like that. A group of people like live to tell the tale. This is called tragic horror. Everybody dies.
That's the end. Yeah, everybody's dying, but you're trying to get your goal done before that.
So what happens is you'll go through stuff, and there's rolls and other things to be had, and you actually, the suggestion is you play by the lights of the 10 candles, which is kind of hard, I will be honest with you, because they're tiny little things. But as each candle goes out, you start progressing the story faster. Well, what happens is, like, you end up playing for about 2.5 hours is about the time it takes for 10 candles to snuff themselves out. And what's interesting is 10 candles that look all the same, they all will go out at different times, like, inevitably. And so what happens is as you start progressing the action, but everybody has to complete their goal. Everybody has to, and so the DM for this will look at everybody's goal. And the goals are typically like, just think of it like you're playing yourself. And this is happening. So what's going on? It's like, oh, I wanna see my sister again. Okay, so we're gonna have to run across, Jacob's sister. Jacob doesn't have a sister, but we have to run across Jacob's sister in the game somewhere. Okay, cool. What's one regret? Yeah, I regret leaving that guy on the side of the road when this whole thing started. Okay, so we got to deal with your regret, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe we come across the truck that you left him there in, and you just see the whole thing just mangled. Or you maybe run into the guy and somehow he's okay. You don't have to be dark or deathly with it. It's just however it plays. But what's really cool about the story is every time a candle goes out, there's a thing that happens. Like, we all recite the same words, and then there's an event that gets triggered. And as more and more candles go out, more and more events get triggered. And when the last candle goes out, everybody dies. Mm-hmm. And so you played the game. I think we played it twice, right? 2 or 3 times? Mm-hmm. What did you think about it?
It was really good. It was a lot more of a... There's a lot more of a different expectation when you know that the character's going to die at the end. So now it's trying to figure out, what would your character do when he knows it's over? What can I do to make peace?
or go out in a hero's glory,
glory,
or
whatever. It's
yeah,
now kind of testing
how do I
who
make a
you are
difference?
of. If the world's going to end tomorrow, literally, what are you going to do? What are you going to do in your next 24 hours as a human being? Are you going to be one of the looters? Are you going to be one of the ones trying to save some more people and convert them? Are you just going to go on a binger and drink a lot of alcohol and smoke a lot of stuff? What are you going to do?
Do you want to try to find out what's actually happening, even though it doesn't make a bit of difference, but you now
Maybe
know?
maybe make a futile attempt to save humanity, or at the
Right.
very least save yourself.
Right. Strike back. Yeah. And what I really like about the game more than anything else is it helps build role playing skills. Look, so much of D&D can just turn into a dice fest where it's like, I don't care, I just want to roll as much dice as I can. I don't care about role playing my character. I don't care who my character is. And I don't think that's a good idea. I just look, I really like role playing games where you figure out something about yourself. And so 10 Candles is the epitome of that. You get to find out who you are in a situation, even though you have zero control over the entire thing. The other nice thing is, literally, you can start playing 10 Candles. As soon as you understand the rules, you get the 10 candles out, either on an app or on the table. You've lit them all. You can literally just start playing right now. Like,
The
that's simple.
candles, app, pen and paper.
Yeah,
That's all you need.
yeah, and you're done. And there's no lengthy, it's not like D&D where you're going to spend like 17 hours drawing up characters. You don't have to draw up anything as a DM. In fact, as time's going on, you can start making up the monster on the fly, even if you want. Even if you don't want to, you don't have to even come up with a monster. You could just have some deaths happen, you know. So
Something takes them away in the darkness. You don't know what they are.
yeah, exactly. And it's a really cool thing. So I believe it's 10candles.com. I'll have the actual link to where the 10 Candles game is in the show notes, or in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube. And that way you can actually like get to it and see it. I really enjoyed it. I kickstarted the game, and I was really fascinated with the concept. And I have to say that several times that we played it, I was really happy with the results for literally like zero planning RPG. Let's just do a one-off thing. I think we played it around Halloween a couple years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, and I think it went really well. And it was fun, even though everybody died. So I mean, it's really kind of how was that fun? Well, it was fun because we were all stretching our role playing muscles, and we were all doing impromptu role playing right there. And I think that's a good skill to start to learn. You really need that skill if you're going to be a game master. This is a really good light way of introducing your players into getting the same sort of skill. Because ultimately, at Skull RPG, we believe that everybody should work together to tell a story together. Not player versus player, not player versus GM, but like everybody working together to tell a story, even if the story is told through a lot of dice rolling and a lot of weird character stuff on D&D, or whether it's told through something like this where it's all right, well, I got to somehow work in the fact that Jacob wants to see his sister and he needs closure on the guy he left in the truck when the lights went out. Okay, cool. Now I got to do that times five because I got 4 other people sitting at the table with me. So anyway, check out 10 Candles. It's literally, I think you can pick up the rules for free. You can pick up the app for free. This thing will cost you nothing but a couple of hours of time. And I think it'd be a really good growing experience for both you and your players. And you don't have to go very dark with it. You can keep it pretty light if you wish. But just remember, the entire point of it is everybody dies. The darkness is coming. What's in the darkness? Well, that's on you.
Hey, thanks for listening.
And for more resources, please go to skullrpg.com.